Hello everyone, I'm Babla Jonathan and this is the 6 p.m. primetime newscast of Equinoxe Television. Thank you for joining us today. We are Equinoxe Television, we are independent, we are fearless and we are credible. Thank you for trusting us. In our top stories, a deadly disease outbreak is raising alarm in Cameroon's far north region after claiming 3 lives. The first confirmed case in Marwa has prompted health authorities to step up monitoring and efforts to stop the spread of the disease. President Paul Biya's extended absence from Cameroon is deepening the country's political divide, with the opposition demanding constitutional action and the ruling party pushing back the debate. The debate is gathering momentum. And out of Cameroon, reports of summary execution are casting a spotlight on the worsening security crisis in Mali. Authorities say jihadist fighters killed surrendered soldiers after a deadly attack on a military convoy in the Gao region. Those are top stories. Health authorities in the far north region of Cameroon are stepping up efforts to put an end to the spread of the outbreak of disease in that part of the country. The disease outbreak that is taking away lives already. It has already claimed 3 lives. Cholera outbreak in that part of the country is raising concerns, and officials have also confirmed the first case in the city of Marwa, heightening concerns about the health of situation for workers, notably health workers in the health sector. Cedric Chakuto tells us.
Cholera remains a public health emergency in Cameroon. After several outbreaks reported in border areas, the disease is now reaching the urban center. Marwa in the far north region has become a major point of vigilance. According to local authorities, the first case detected involved a Nigerian national. This confirms fears of a rapid spread if no action is taken.
À l'heure actuelle, il y a donc 2 arrondissements qui sont touchés, notamment Marwa 1er et Marwa 3e.
Currently, 2 subdivisions are affected with confirmed cases. The other subdivisions are on high alert due to the urgency of the situation. It's important to remember that cholera is a highly contagious disease.
Maladie très contagieuse et c'est une maladie dont la saleté d'une manière générale.
In response to this urgency, the senior divisional officer of the Diamare division convened an emergency crisis meeting. The objective was clear: define a coordinated strategy to curb the spread of the disease and intensify community awareness. During the meeting, the senior divisional officer made a solemn call emphasizing on 3 priorities, which are the strict respect of hygiene measures, door-to-door awareness in neighborhoods and markets, and collective vigilance to prevent the situation from worsening. We must act together, administrative, traditional, religious and community actors. Everyone has a role to play. Vigilance, individual responsibility and collective mobilization are the only weapons to stop this disease. As the far north region faces recurring health challenges, authorities are determined to prevent an uncontrolled outbreak and protect the population.
Questions surrounding President Paul Biya's prolonged stay abroad continue to fuel political debate in Cameroon. 45 days after the head of a state departed from the national territory, the president, in a stay described as a brief private stay in Europe, opposition voices are calling for constitutional action, while the ruling Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, CPDM, political party has firmly rejected those demands. For me, Armstrong Standard, Chelsea Small.
Opposition lawmaker Honorable Jean-Michel Nenchi of the FCC political party was the first to break the silence. In a Facebook post on July 17, 2026, he called on the Constitutional Council to declare the position of head of state vacant. In his words, he wrote, Where is the president? Our constitution's authors probably never imagined a sitting president leaving his country for months on end. Imagine an employee who abandons his post without explanation. How long would an employer accept that? The provocative question drew an immediate and forceful response from Professor Jacques Famendongo, Cameroon's Minister of State, Minister of Higher Education and Communications Secretary of the ruling CPDM party. In an official note on July the 21st, he dismissed calls for a vacancy as juridical, political and even logical barbarism. He argued that no legal provision in Cameroon sets a maximum duration for a presidential stay abroad. He argued that the president remains at work and follows daily events in Cameroon through electronic means. But that rebuttal was swiftly rejected by Mamadou Mota, first national vice president of opposition Cameroon Renaissance Movement, TR political party. In a sharp counter, Mota wrote, "What do you know about the law? Article 6, paragraph 4 of our constitution is crystal clear. In case of vacancy, vacancy is not a metaphysical concept, it is a legal reality. 45 days away from the national territory is not a stay, it is a de facto exile." He mocked at the notion of Cameroon becoming the first country in the world governed by a clandestine telework. Joining the fray, Barrister Alice Nkom, a prominent legal mind and spokesperson of opposition leader Issa Chiroma Bakari, echoed Mota's constitutional argument. She reinforced that the prolonged absence exposes a dangerous institutional vacuum, questioning how executive power can be credibly exercised from thousands of kilometers away without transparency. As the ruling party meets in Yaoundé, one question remains unanswered. How long can the nation's leaders be absent before the absence becomes a crisis? It is a debate that Cameroon's institution and people can no longer ignore.
Plastic pollution is increasing in Cameroon, with discarded plastic waste increasingly contaminating communities, waterways and ecosystems while posing serious risks to public health as costs grow for manufacturers to cut back on virgin plastic production. Consumers' rights advocates are urging authorities to enforce stronger measures to curb plastic waste and protect both people and the environment. Inosenaze tells us more.
Cameroon produces nearly 6 million tons of waste every year, with about 10% being plastic materials. This growing plastic pollution is causing serious environmental damage and creating health risk for the population. When plastic waste blocks water drainage channels, it causes water stagnation and creates conditions for the spread of disease-causing organisms with direct consequences for public health. In addition, certain chemicals contained in plastic packaging can migrate from the container into foods or beverages, exposing consumers to health risks. To address the situation, the Ministries of Mines, Industry and Technological Development and Environment and Nature Protection have given local plastic producers until December 1 to incorporate at least 30% recycled local plastic materials in the production of plastic packaging. But with only 6 months left before the deadline, consumers say many companies concerned are yet to fully comply with the administrative order. For a long time, our environment has continued to suffer from this situation, which is why we are raising the alarm and calling on the government to take firm action. There should be no further delays because December 1 must mark the beginning of the ecological transition in Cameroon. From that date, we should no longer see our waterways, coastal areas, drainage channels, and other public spaces polluted by plastic packaging waste. It is against this backdrop that the Cameroon Federation of Consumer Associations, FECACO, brought together consumer protection organizations in Douala on June 20. The objective was to put pressure on manufacturers to respect the regulations and protect the health of consumers. Consumer advocates warn that continued delay this will only worsen plastic pollution, exposing communities to greater health and environmental dangers. They are calling on producers to act quickly and embrace the use of recycled plastic materials for safer products and a cleaner environment.
Social media filters, celebrity culture, and beauty influencers are increasingly shaping perceptions of beauty, driving a growing number of young women in Cameroon to undergo cosmetic procedures pursued largely for aesthetic enhancement rather than medical reasons. The trend is fueling debate over body image, health risk, and societal pressures. Cedric Chakucho spoke with some of the women and he compiled their views on the issue in the following report.
While plastic surgery within a medical framework can reconstruct or correct certain irregularities, it is increasingly sought after by individuals with no health problems who simply wish to ameliorate their physical appearance. Influenced by social media and societal expectations, many young women say they want to conform to current beauty standards.
Certaines filles vraiment naissent avec elles naissent vraiment très minces, elles n'ont pas de seins, elles n'ont pas de fesses. Et puis il y a
Some girls are born very thin. They have no breast or buttocks, and then the societal pressure. They think, well, when I will have the money, I'll change everything on my body. I want to be beautiful and well built like other influencers.
Je veux aussi être formée et belle comme Muriel Blanche, être formée et belle comme l'artiste Mimi. Certaines filles ont
Some girls have insecurities. When they see their friend's breast, for example, they might think, well, since men are paying more attention to her, I'll be the same. For several men, this quest for the perfect body is based more on social pressure than on genuine male expectations. They also warn against the risks associated with procedures performed outside of a safe medical setting.
Chaque homme a son goût. Et une femme qui attire par ses formes.
Every man has his own way of seeing things, and a woman who attracts attention with her figure is generally not considered a good woman. A woman should remain natural and not engage in this kind of practice.
Il y a tout ça, il y a des maladies qui vont en suivre.
Chez nous, les musulmans, c'est interdit de faire cela.
In our Muslim faith, this is forbidden. As parents, we must advise our children not to follow this practice, which will have consequences on their health. According to Professor Sabine Eta-Fouda, a psychologist,
d'abord l'école, il est important d'insister sur l'importance de l'identité corporelle.
The phenomenon stems from low self-esteem, ignorance, the need for social validation, and the growing influence of beauty ideals.
Et il faut être fier de ce que nous avons sur le plan physique, sur le plan intellectuel et surtout sur le plan moral et mental.
She also calls for strengthening body image education from a young age and for better regulation of illegal practices.
Par exemple, de modification illégale soit perpétuée par des personnes qui ne sont même pas professionnelles.
Beyond the quest for body and social appearance, specialists remind that no physical transformation can permanently replace self-esteem. This is a call for caution in a context where appearance plays an increasingly important role in the society.
In the same vein, Cameroon's Minister of Public Health, Manauda Malachi, has issued a stern warning against the use of body fillers as authorities intensify efforts to curb illegal cosmetic procedures in the country. The Cameroon Medical Council has suspended several individuals, including social media influencer Crocus de Diamant, for allegedly administering unauthorized body filler injections in a crackdown aimed at ending unlicensed medical practice across the country. Mala Glory reports.
In a press release dated July 16, 2026, the Minister of Public Health issued a stern warning against illegal cosmetic injections, commonly known as body fillers, which are used to enlarge the buttocks, breast, or other parts of the body. In his statement, Minister Manauda Malachi emphasized that these products must strictly be administered by qualified health professionals within authorized health facilities. He added that seeking services from unapproved and unqualified practitioners is highly dangerous as it can cause severe infections, allergies, deformities, permanent tissue damage, and can be life-threatening. The Minister of Public Health further announced that an investigation will be launched and urged the general public to refrain from using these dangerous products. In a separate communique, the Cameroon Medical Council suspended individuals involved in these illegal practices across Cameroon. Among those cited was Kingsley Nembo for offering medical and aesthetic services without being a registered member of the National Order of Medical Doctors of Cameroon. Additionally, Manuela Nimpa, a social media influencer popularly known as Croqueuse de Diamant, was called out for administering body fillers and providing aesthetic services without medical qualifications. The council stated that the complaints have been forwarded to the competent judicial authorities for further investigation. Cameroon Medical Council reaffirmed its determination to fight all forms of illegal medical practices, protect the lives of Cameroonians, and preserve the honor of medical profession in the country.
Senegal has officially thrown its support behind former President Macky Sall's bid to become the next United Nations Secretary General, and the country's President Bassirou Diomaye Faye told all diplomatic heads of the country to support his candidacy. In Mali, jihadists from the Group for the Support of Islam and Muslims summarily executed Malian soldiers who had surrendered. The events took place on July 18 in the Tabrich area of the Gao region following a joint attack by GNIM and the separatist group FLA against a large military convoy traveling from Anifis to Gao. Approximately 50 Malian soldiers were killed during that incident. And that's it. We'll bring to you now sports with Smart Njikan Gebre. Lionel Messi has ended another remarkable chapter to his legendary career. He has added another important milestone, another important chapter in his legendary career. At 39, the Argentinian captain has guided his country to the 2026 FIFA World Cup final while settling several new records, and of course setting several new records, including becoming the oldest player to score a World Cup hat-trick and the player with the most World Cup appearances, yards, or ends the tournament so far with 8 goals and 4 assists. Smart Njikan Gebre tells us more in this following report.
Lionel Messi has written one more chapter in football history at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. At 39 years old, the Inter Miami captain led Argentina back to a World Cup final in Mexico, Canada, and the United States of America. Born June 24, 1987 in Rosario, Argentina, Messi is already the most decorated player ever with over 40 trophies, 8 Ballon d'Ors, 8 FIFA World Cup Player Awards, and a record 6 European Golden Shoes. In 2026, he added more records. Messi scored 8 goals and 4 assists in 8 matches. He opened Argentina's title defense with a hat-trick against Algeria, becoming the oldest player ever to score a World Cup hat-trick. And with 30 World Cup appearances, he now holds the all-time record. But the fairy tale ending wasn't to be. In the final, Spain dominated possession. Argentina didn't register a shot on target in 90 minutes. Messi's first shot came in the 117 minutes of extra time. Spain won 1-0. After the game, Messi was gracious to defeat, admitting Spain was the better team on the night. Heartbreak in the final, but history made. At 39, Messi carried Argentina all the way and reminded the world while he remains the centerpiece of the game. Was this his last World Cup? Only time will tell.
Talking Point is up next. Dr. Benjamin Aki, civil society leader, founder and coordinator of English Cameroon for a United Cameroon Civil Society platform, joins us from Syracuse, United States of America. Thank you for joining us today. First question to you: what is your reading or understanding of this whole debate about President Paul Biya's long stay abroad?
I am a defender of the sovereignty of Cameroon. I'm a proud Cameroonian, and I am going to do everything in my power to contribute to making sure that sovereignty belongs to the people of Cameroon, and that Cameroon, this beautiful country blessed by God with many, many resources, with many, many talents, that Cameroon begins to rise up and show to the world that we are a great country. We are a great country in Africa, a country connected to three important civilizations in Europe: the Germans, the British, and the French. And we have learned, and all Cameroonians should be proud. But when Cameroonians today speak internationally in Africa, people start laughing. They're laughing because of Mr. Paul Biya. They're laughing because we have allowed this man for 40 years, more than 40 years, to continue to drag our country into the mud. So I'm saying that I'm encouraging Cameroonians that let us be proud, let us wear this tie. And you know, I'm a federalist. I think that when we meet to come up with a federal constitution, the tie, the flag of the country will also be a discussion. Until we have that discussion, this is the indication of Cameroon. I'm fighting for federated Cameroon, and I'm proudly showing that if you feel like me that Cameroon belongs to all of us, let us be proud about it. Let us show that it does not belong to the CPDM. It does not belong to Mr. Biya. And as such, all of us must do our own duty every day to contribute to the restoration of the sovereignty of Cameroon, starting with respecting the will of the Cameroonian people, the truth of the ballot box expressed in a landslide manner in favor of Mr. Issa Chiroma Bakari, who is now in exile. He does not belong in the Gambia. He belongs to Cameroon. He has to come back home and take over power, and we will sit down together and talk about how we can fix this country. Until then, we are involved in a battle for the liberation of our country, and let us wear the flag of Cameroon proudly and chase out those who are taking our sovereignty hostage.
That's the message you're sending forth through a tie, having the flag of Cameroon with the green, red, yellow, and the golden star on the red section or segment of the flag. Now, what is your perspective of this whole debate about President Paul Biya's long stay abroad, more than 40 days on a private visit?
Thank you, Mr. Babila, for this important question. The first point that I would like to make is that Mr. Biya is a former president of Cameroon according to the election of 12 October 2025. On the evening of that day, Cameroonians clearly voted in favor of Mr. Issa Chiroma Bakari as the president, and Mr. Biya lost the election. If we had followed the result of that election, Mr. Biya would be a former president, and he would be free to leave the country and stay abroad and come back as he likes. But they tried to somebody who doesn't have the capacity to carry out the work, whose health is challenging at his age, and we are seeing the consequences of that. So the first point is that his stay abroad is, in fact, confirming why the people of Cameroon voted for Mr. Issa Chiroma Bakari. He needs a lot of rest, and that is what is going on now. It is left for Cameroonians to ask the question, for how long can we continue with this comedy while the country grounds to a standstill? So that is my take, that his stay abroad for this long only confirms the wisdom of the people of Cameroon at this point to say we need a new president, we need a new path forward. The result of October 12, 2025, which said, Mr. Biya, you are now on retirement, and Mr. Chiroma, you are the next president.
Well, as of now, the President of the Republic of Cameroon is Paul Biya, recognized by national and international bodies, and the Constitutional Council declared him winner of the October 12, 2025 presidential election, and he was effectively sworn in as head of state. But looking at the current situation in terms of governance, is it right for a country, for a leader of a country to stay abroad for this long, while his followers are saying that he is working wherever he is on the globe? He is following up everything happening in the country. He is responding to all the files tabled or brought to him for treatment. He is working wherever he is.
If we said, okay, let us even accept that, okay, the man has used ELECAM and the Constitutional Council to subvert the will of the people and impose himself, you would say that it is not right for him. He is de facto president. He's not the legal and legitimate president. He's de facto president by virtue of the fact that he's taken institution and he's the president. It is not right for him to be out of the country for that long. But I'm saying that it is not within his power not to leave the country and seek medical assistance because he has not developed the hospitals. He's tired. He's exhausted. And it is not right for the people of Cameroon to accept that kind of situation. But from the perspective of Mr. Biya, he's naturally doing what somebody at his age is doing. He's also naturally doing. People are so stupid, are so weak, are so lazy that they cannot enforce their own will that they have expressed in that election. So it is not right. And even the people who invest in Cameroon, companies that want to come and build in Cameroon and do business, when they see that, they will see that there is no governance, nothing is working in the country. He has centralized the government. For that centralized government to work, the person who is at the top has to be active 24/7. But he is not active. He has divided his power among people who are competing to succeed him against the will of the people, and that becomes more obvious. So the good news out of this is that anybody who said, let us turn a blind eye to the electoral theft of 2025 is now seeing that Cameroonians cannot allow their country to be destroyed like this. It is not right. It is not acceptable, but it is not within the power of Mr. Biya to oppose the forces of nature and then to come back to Cameroon and still be active. If he comes back to Cameroon, he will still be out of view of the people of Cameroon. Nobody will know what he is doing. So being abroad actually awakens Cameroonians to the fact that even when this man is in Cameroon, he's not the one in charge. So now visibly him being abroad shows that it is not right, but it is also a call to action for Cameroonians. It's a call to Cameroonians to rise up and take back their country from the people who have taken it hostage.
But if the President of the Republic is effectively working from wherever he is, as his followers, including people like the Minister of Higher Education, who is the National Communication Secretary of the CPD, and Professor Jacques Famendongo and others are saying, the question remains, should he be working from the Unity Palace in Yaoundé or from Europe?
Well, this is a lame argument that if you're on the side of Mr. Biya and you have nothing to say, you have to try at least to say something. That's what they are trying to do. But if we go back to the Constitution of Cameroon, we will see that these duties, they amount to the president being visibly present in public life, being active in how many regions has Mr. Biya visited? Giving that sense that the country is together and the country is under a governance system that is active. Whatever his supporters are saying that he is doing while he is away does not rise up to the standard expected of the way, whether it's Professor Famandongo or any one of their supporters saying he's active and he's doing his work. It is just a way to say, you have caught me. I don't have anything to say, but I must say something. And therefore, I'm going to say this thing which is very illogical, which does not amount to the power to.
Right, before we take leave of you, Dr. Benjamin Aki, there are controversies about fundraisings that are organized, fundraising activities organized notably by you people in the diaspora, Cameroonians in the diaspora, to raise funds, money to fight for what you call the restoration of the truth of the ballot box. There are quite a lot of controversies about all these fundraising activities going on here and there, calls of fundraising here and there. Tell us what is happening, what is it all about?
Thank you for this question. The point is that Cameroonians at home and abroad need to come together and organize themselves to ensure that they do community mobilization to enforce the truth of the ballot box. They also need to come together and take care of those who are in prison, those political prisoners who are there, who are sick, who don't have food, who have all sorts of problems. So these two things are very important. I can say on the part of political prisoners, there is a bit more clarity there. We know exactly what needs to be done. And there are people like the activists Winnie Savannah and Annie Choko and other people in the diaspora coordinating the fundraising to provide food, to provide health care, and to take care of those who are in prison. That if at least $150 to contribute actively towards the restoration of the truth of the ballot box. And they are clear in their stipulation that no matter where you contribute the money, at least make sure that it is going towards the truth of the ballot box, because we know there is a diversity of initiatives. So from the perspective of the diaspora, the idea is simple. Give $150. You can split it up and give to different initiatives. You can give to one initiative, but make sure that initiative is tailored to advance the restoration of the truth of the ballot. Action. And for that, we are saying that we're asking every Cameroonian, we are begging them. We cannot force them, but we are begging them to say, at least give 5,000 francs towards the restoration of the truth of the ballot box. And the way we imagine it, those of us in this organization that is fighting to restore the sovereignty of Cameroon.
We've exhausted our time. Dr. Benjamin Aki, thank you for joining us today from Syracuse, United States of America. Thank you for your time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That's it for today. Thank you for always trusting us here at Equinoxe Television. Thank you for your time. God bless Cameroon. Goodbye.